Hello everyone, here we go. It's Friday night, Friday the 12th of July. It's my dad's birthday, so happy birthday to my dad. I don't think he's watching though, he doesn't normally. He's 91 today, so that was a bit exciting. I got to have a nice long FaceTime conversation with him this morning. My cousin is visiting him, and Dad doesn't know how to FaceTime, but my cousin used his phone and set him up so that we could have a nice face-to-face conversation. Isn't that nice? So there we go. Hello. I can see we have lots of people here. You guys have been chatting for what looks like hours. It's a long time anyway. I can see that we had our very first comment at 1:53, and then sporadically all through the afternoon, and then really started in earnest about 7:15. So you guys have been busy chatting, which is lovely. I'm so glad that this system allows you to do that early. I like that it's working really well. Okay, we've got lots of usual suspects here, and if you are not a usual suspect, if you haven't been with us before, or if you're fairly new, or if you've never commented before, please say hi. This is the loveliest group of people that watch every single Friday night, and sometimes Sunday nights, and sometimes Tuesday afternoons, and they're just lovely. And I love that you girls all chat to each other as if you're old friends. I love that. We've got all the Margarets here, I see. Barbara, you're here. Hi, Suzanne. Hey, Cherie. A lady of pleasure. Okay. Yes, so are you making a quilt right now, Cherie? We'll have to, who else here has other hobbies apart from paper crafting or card making or scrapbooking or whatever your particular thing is with paper? Who has other hobbies? I like to crochet. So that's something I usually do in winter, although I haven't been doing any this winter. I've been reading more, but not doing crochet. But I'm about to start. I feel the pull of the hook and yarn pulling me towards the something new. I don't know what to do yet. I did a blanket. I finished a blanket last year or the year before, and then last year I was crocheting a cardigan, which was a complete failure, and I've got to work out what to do with that yarn. Never mind. Oh, there you go. So everyone's talking about the quilting. Well done. Well, we're not going to talk about quilting tonight. Tonight we're paper crafting, and I'm going to get started on that. I'm so sorry if I haven't said hello to everybody. I know there's so many people that I haven't mentioned, and my apologies to you all. But you know I love you, and just accept that that I'm just saying hello everyone tonight. Okay, all right. 6 quilt tops done. That's a lot, Cherie. Hello, Tanya. Oh, see, I can't help myself. Oh, what just happened? I jumped out of the studio there for a second. I don't know how that happened. Can you still see me? Am I still there, or did I go blank? I don't know what happened. Can you hear me? That is the question, because I saw that it all went black there for a couple of seconds. Let me see if I can get just one screen. You can see my arm. I switched to the desk, but at least you could still hear me, right? So I'm back now. Photography and painting, Roz. That's exciting. I used to do a lot of drawing. I don't know if Jamie's here tonight, but Jamie and I went to art school together back in the 90s and did everything from sculpture to life drawing to photography to all sorts of stuff. That was lots of fun. I'm back. Good. Oh, thank you. I've never had a compliment on my elbow ever before. That's the first time. Oh, Lani, you got a sore arm. That's no good. All right, so let's get started. Tonight is Friday, which means we're going to have a look at another sketch this Friday. I'm gradually working through all the sketches. So if you have your catalogue handy, this is the Stampin' Up catalogue. If you don't have one of these and you live in Australia and you would like one, send me a message and I will pop one in the post to you. They are 145 pages of pure delight, in my opinion. I love the catalogue. I just love sitting down and looking through. I find it very inspiring. And tonight we're talking about sketches. They're on page 22. So if you turn to that page, let me go back to the desk. Let's try that. All right, you'll see down the bottom of page 22 right here, There are 22 sketches, okay? So these are fantastic. You can use them to inspire you to do all kinds of things. And every Friday night for the last 10 weeks for the, well, this is the 10th sketch. So I'm working from top left across that first row, and we're on the second last one on that row right now. So this is the 10th one. So this will be week number 10. Has everyone got the one screen now? Is that working for everybody? Oh, thank you. Thank you. I got my nails done. Now here's an interesting thing. I probably will come away from having my nails done because, you know, that's money I don't really have to spend on. I feel a little bit guilty doing that. I'd rather spend my money on crafting than getting my nails done. But I got them done last month and they lasted so well and did so great that I decided to do them again. This color, I was trying to work out what Stampin' Up color would it be. Now it's close to this, but actually that's meant to be Petunia Pop, I think. Does anyone agree? Do you think that's meant to be Petunia Pop? Hard to tell because my nails are definitely darker than Petunia Pop. And the closest color probably is either Berry Burst, but it's a little bit pinker than my nails, or somewhere, this is too red. Cherry Cobbler's too red, but it's somewhere in between these, I think. That's where I think it is. Blackberry Bliss, maybe, but that's too dark. So I think it's the color I think this is, if anyone remembers it. Does anyone remember the color Raspberry Ripple? We had that one a few years back. I don't know how many years back. No, they're too dark, Lani. It's similar. It looks similar to this in the book, but I actually think that this color is not well shown. So if I was to grab a piece of Petunia Pop, it's not the same as this. Look at that. Look how different it is. So, and it's that's way too light, but it's closer to the color in the book, isn't it? But maybe that's meant to be Berry Burst, which is this color. I think maybe it is. That's probably the closest we're going to get. But Raspberry Ripple was the color. Do you remember that one, Roz? Fresh Fig was, no, Fresh Fig was more of a, I want to say dirty purple, but that's not right. I think Berry Burst is the closest current color, but the perfect color to these would have been Raspberry Ripple. And that was years ago. I don't know if anyone remembers it apart from Roz. Roz sounds like she remembered it. Rich Razzleberry? Yeah, no. Rich Razzleberry is very close to something else we had. Well, maybe it's Blackberry Bliss I'm thinking of. No, don't think so. But anyway, I think these are Raspberry Ripple. But anyway, you can see them. They're very nice. Very pretty. I really like them. Okay, so let's have a look at this sketch. So I actually blew it up, not very successfully. It's all blurry, so it's not your eyes, it's my sketch. But to give us an idea, that still works. Okay, so that's this one here. They don't blow up particularly successfully, but hey, it still gives me the idea of what I'm trying to achieve. And I thought tonight I would show you a brand new suite. How about that? A new suite collection. And I've got it here to one side. This is called Iconic Celebrations, and it's new. So let's have a little look. Let me get my screen a little bit straighter. There we go. I don't like having a crooked screen. All right, so let's start with the stamp set. I think that's a reasonable place to start. It's called Iconic Imagery. The thing I do like about all of the new things that we have that can be Christmassy things, so you can kind of do a Christmas in July thing with all of the new stuff that comes out. The Season of Green of Gold, of course, has got all the lovely Christmas greetings, but not just Christmas, other things as well. And then you've got the Frosted Forest, which has got Christmas trees in it, but also an oak tree and a whole bunch of sentiments that have got nothing to do with Christmas. So it's really interesting. They are all usable for Christmas, but they don't have to be. And I think that makes them really useful. And this one is no exception. So you have got your Christmas trees and you've got snowflakes here for the people who'd like to do a cold Christmas. We've got stars, although you can use stars any time around of the year. But we've also got birthday candles. We've also got hearts. We've got leaves. We've got the word celebrate, the word grateful. We've got the season, so you could do celebrate the season. We've got peace, joy, love. You can use a for, grateful for the season, for example. So you could make up your different words and bits and pieces from this. It's a really nice little set. And then, of course, it has matching dies. And the matching dies are really nice. I used one of them on a project for for my craft along stuff I've got coming up, actually. So for anyone who's wondering when craft along is going to be, I'm scheduling it for the very last day of the month. So it's going to be the 31st of August, which is a Wednesday. So sometimes I do a Wednesday, sometimes I do a Thursday. But because this month, the very last day of the month is the Wednesday, I wanted to make sure it was still in July. So craft along will be 2 p.m. on Wednesday, the 31st of July, for anyone who would like to note that in their diaries. Okay. Oh, you made a card this week. So you use Let's Celebrate You. That's cool. Yeah, why not? So we've got you, we've got celebrate, and we've got let's. So let's celebrate you. Yep, exactly. And you can do the and between, like, peace and joy, for example. It's a really nice set. I think it's really user friendly. Now, these are the dies that go with it. So you can see, like, for example, this one is a star, but the star shape also cuts out the snowflake. Then you've got these little leaves, which are a two-step kind of affair. You've got the die for them. You've got these leaves, a good die for those. And we've got a Christmas tree. There's that one there. And then you've also got these lovely big labels that you could stamp on or decorate something with. So really, really cool. I really like them. I think they're a bit of fun and very user-friendly, very easy to use. And we like an easy-to-use set. Then we have... I'll go with these ones next. I'll show the paper last. We've got these cute little dots. They are pecan pie and white, or actually pecan pie and clear, actually. And I want to bring them out of here and show them to you close up if we can get close enough. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it's got like a little, see, it's got like a little design in there. Can you see it? And you have in the pecan pie ones as well. It's actually, it's easier to, you can see it when you turn it in the light a little bit. Really, really shiny, really, really pretty. And I think they'll be fun to use. So I've got those to go. Haven't used them yet. And then we also have this white ribbon. Now the white ribbon, let me get it in the right place, has got like a frayed edge, which makes it a bit interesting. You could color this with blends if you needed another color. So yeah, I really like it. I think it's going to be nice to use on my cards. Very pretty. And there's how many is on here? 4.5 meters on a roll. So it's thick-ish ribbon, but just some of our ribbon rolls, there's 9.1 meters on a roll. This one there is 4.5, so about half as much as some of the others. For example, the ribbon that's in the Season of Green and Gold set, which I have showed you before, this is that one, and there's 9.1 meters of this. This is like a satin, a true satin ribbon in very vanilla. So that's really nice. But it's not part of this suite. I just want to show you the difference. Then the last part of this suite is this little thing here. This is the 6x6 paper. It's called Iconic Celebrations, which is where the suite gets its name. It always is named after the paper. Okay, so there are 4 sheets of each design. So you see that these are also some of our, and I love it when they do this, some of our dies will match and cut out the shapes on here. So you can cut these out with this little guy if you want to. So that makes them extra useful. Or you can just use the paper, of course. And on the back of that, we've got some red with leaves. What are the colours? Cherry cobbler with leaves, that is. Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, and Pecan Pie. So kind of earthy kind of colours in my mind. So there's your Mossy Meadow. And so you've got some little champagne glasses there. You've got hearts over here. So it certainly doesn't have to be Christmas, for sure. In fact, I'd say, you know, it's only Christmas if you really want to make it Christmas. Otherwise, it could be anything. But it's very cute. And there's some fireworks there. They're nice. Like those. And some birthday candles. Like 4 of each. What's on the back of that one? That's the fireworks. So you've got your snowflakes. You've got little Christmas trees. What have we got there? Pumpkins. And we've got some tartan. I like the tartan. That's nice. And we've got some little birds, little doves with a leaf, like the one coming back to the ark. And then we've got some stars here, some stripes, some more trees, and the last one is stars and confetti. Okay, so it's just nice to see what's in these sets because it's really hard in the catalogs, and these ones are not in a catalog, but even online it's kind of hard to see them. You don't get a really good close-up look, so I'm hoping that that's going to help somebody, you know, find something, you know, find this a bit more interesting to see them up close and see what you maybe could do with them. All right, so I'm just going to working on this sketch. Let's pull that out, get rid of some stuff. I'm making a mess already. I tell you, I can't be trusted with stuff, really. All right, so I was thinking I'm going to go, I think, I want to use this paper tonight. So I'm going to use it probably, I'm thinking probably on this. This could be a square or a rectangle. It's a little bit, it's not really a square. It's almost a square, but you could make it a square. And if you didn't really like the shapes, you could make it a circle. So don't ever feel you have to stick to exactly what the sketch says to do. Very often, for my first card I do with a sketch, I follow exactly. And then after that, I divert and use all kinds of other shapes and materials and things as I see fit. So I'm thinking, I've got a ton of crumb cake paper at the moment, lots and lots. So I think even though crumb cake is not one of the colours listed in here, it's going to go quite nicely with these. And I'm thinking, what would I like to have on top? Crumb cake and cherry cobbler always looks good. This is a good match. So that's a possibility. And mossy meadow, of course, is always good. Some tartan would be nice. So we have this tartan, which is like more of a Christmassy tartan, but that's nice. And then we have, just thinking, the stripes are good. But I'm thinking about doing a tree and making it a kind of a, you know, let's do Christmas in July. Let's do that. What do you think? Does anyone want to have, would somebody like to choose one? I mean, I was leaning towards this one here, but does anybody have a particular one they would like me to use? I know, I always miss saying hello to at least 5 people, and tonight you might have noticed I just gave up really early. I just knew I was going to miss a bunch of people, so I missed just about everybody. You struggle with ribbon. Yeah, okay. I understand. Some people say that. I know, Leslie, that's very exciting. The new mini is going to have some fantastic Christmas stuff in it. We already know that. We already have seen a little bit. We had the sneak peeks that came out at the Creativity Now event, which is the demonstrator event, and those were beautiful. And I showed those to everybody a few weeks ago. That bundle that those were made with, it's just stunning. Hello, Dimity. Hi. Which one looks good? Are you thinking this one that I've pulled out, or are we thinking something else? I'm also, I also like the look of this. And I was thinking you could probably, it's a little bland, but we could make it, you know, pretty it up. So, you know, there's that as well. But I think, Glenda, you meant this one. You like the red. Suzanne likes the red as well. So, okay. All right. So we'll go with that. All right. Now I'm thinking, just to add some extra interest, because there's not a lot going on this card. I mean, not that there has to be. Okay, you could keep it fairly simple, but I'm thinking I might emboss this piece behind. So this is going to go on a card base, but this has already been measured. This is 10 centimeters. Pulled it out of my scrap drawer, actually, by 14.3. So that's the correct size for my card front. And I've got an embossing folder here that I thought, I love this one. This is the Eyelet embossing folder, and I did use it last week when we did that pink tree. You remember that? When you put your piece of paper straight in, you'll see it gives you like a embossed design that's like, it's like a diagonal eyelet design. It's super nice. So let's have a little play with that. I'm going to bring my cut and emboss machine in, and I'm going to be zooming out so that we can see a little bit more of what's going on. It also means you get to see a little bit more of the mess on my desk, but that's okay. All right. Okay, so I've got my cut and emboss machine here, and this is a 3D embossing folder. So what I need to do is pull off all the plates and only have base plate 1, just the base plate and nothing else. We're going to put that in. And then I've got my specialty plate, which is plate number 4. This one is just for 3D embossing folders. Okay, so this 3D embossing folder with the paper inside is going to go right there on top of my base plate. I'm going to put my specialty plate, my grey plate on top, and I'm going to wheel that through. If you have a big shot, the plate that you need that goes on top of the 3D folders is the blue specialty plate that we used to sell. But once they got rid of the big shots, they no longer sold that one. So if you don't have it, you may need to muck around and work out the right sandwich. Now, I'll be using my cut and emboss machine again in a minute, but I'll come back down in the meantime. I'll try and get this straight again. That's not too bad. Let's open this up. I love that we start out with a nice flat piece of paper and we end up with this. How good does it look? Isn't that beautiful? And I love the texture. I love that texture. All right, so I'm thinking, well, let's stick to exactly what the sketch says, and I'm going to actually do this, but I'm going to do a square, and then I'm going to make it into a rectangle. So I'm going to use my Stylish Shapes dies, which are my all-time favorite dies ever in the whole wide world. Well, as long as they're current and as long as I can use them, they are so good. And what size would I want this to be? So would this be about the right size? Let's see. According to this, it's probably a little bit too big, but I don't know if I want to go down a lot more. Or this one. Don't forget I'm going to have the piece coming out underneath here. But I feel like that might be a little bit too small. I don't know. Let's go with the big one. Why not? And I'm going to be cutting my red piece that's under here. I'm going to be cutting that with this square. So this square is there are 6 squares, and this is the second largest. Yeah, second largest one. So no, 5 squares, beg your pardon, 5 squares, and this is the second largest. So I'm going to actually, I'm thinking, will I bring it in? Yeah. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to bring in my machine again, and this time I need to add my plates back in. So my base plate goes first. Let's come up so you can see. Base plate first, and then we need the thin die adapter. That's plate number 2. So they're numbered. First one is 1, this one is 2. Then we need 3, which is one of the clear plates. Not that mine is clear anymore. Goodness me. I've just ordered new plates just because every now and then I do that. Every few months I usually order another set of plates just to have better looking plates. And then the top plate, number 3, second one of these. So your second number 3 goes on top of that. So you've got 1 clear plate underneath and 1 clear plate underneath. Sorry, 1 underneath, 1 on top. And I'm going to roll it through and back. Not that you need to go back. You can just go one time, especially with a simple shape like this. If you had a more intricate shape, then going through and going back again is a good idea. But for a simple shape, you don't really need to. All right, so you can see that has cut. And we've got that beautiful stitched edge. Such a nice die, this one. Oh, now, while I've got this here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this a little bit. I'm going to put it back into the die. And we're going to make, remember I said I was going to make it a rectangle? Does it matter which way? No. If I was using the Christmas tree side, it wouldn't matter which way it goes. And I would want to take some off the bottom or off the top to make it a little bit shorter than it is wide. Okay, but because I'm doing the red side, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to take off, I'm doing it by eye, about this much. And that's going to make a rectangle. So I'm going to put that back down. I'm going to put my plate back on top. And I'm going to send it through again. And we're taking off that little bit now. Can you see that? And now we have a rectangle, not a square. So you can do that with almost any of your cutting shapes. You can change the shape of them by taking a little bit off. It's actually a good trick to remember. Let me show you by coming in back to where we were. All right. Now, so I've got this piece here, and I now have my rectangular shape, which looks like so. How's that going? Is it good? Has everyone seen that before? I'm sure everybody knows how to do that, but maybe not. Where did the die come from? Are we talking about the stitched shapes dies, the square? Is that the one you mean? Sorry, stylish shapes. Stitch shapes was the old one that had squares, circles, and what was the other shape? Ovals. And then we got rid of that one and brought in stylish shapes, which I like better because I use the banners more than I use the ovals. So I think that's fantastic. Hello, Megan. Nice to have you there. I love those colours together too. Crumb cake and cherry cobbler are a really good combo. And throw mossy meadow in as well, because that's really good as well. Especially if you're trying to go, you know, Christmassy. All right, so we've got this here, and I'm going to be working on top of this. I'm deciding whether I want... All right, so on top of here, we get to decide what we want to do. So I've got a few choices, okay? I could put an emblem, like maybe a Christmas tree on top of this, and then have a banner out the bottom and maybe do that in a different color, perhaps. So, but I was thinking about doing gold out the side here, but then I thought to myself, if I wanted to do a Christmas tree, I could do a gold Christmas tree or a gold star, either one, and then have a banner in a different color. I could either do, I've got a few choices. There's a lot. We could do pecan pie. How would that look? Let's have a look and see what that would look like. Going to my scraps. Or early espresso as well would be another option. But I'm thinking of pecan pie because the little, these little guys are pecan pie, and I thought they might look rather nice together. So how would that look? You know, if we were to do our little piece that comes out underneath in that color. I'm not sure about it. We also have, like I said, early espresso, which is nice. That is nice. What do you guys think? Do we like the darker color or the lighter? I'm thinking the darker looks better, if anyone agrees with me. Oh, we have some new people here. Hello, Joanne. Nice to see you. You're all the way from Ontario. There you go. 6 a.m. That's very early to be up. It's hot over there, I take it. You said it's going to be 27 degrees today, and that sounds like a beautiful day. What a lovely day that would be. All right, the darker. Everyone's saying the darker. Okay, good. Yep, all righty. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bring my machine in again. I'm just going to quickly cut it over here on the desk. But I'm going to use one of the banners from the Stylish Shapes dies. So this set that has that square also has all these. Just have to excuse the state of my set because you can see I use it to death. It really needs to be on a magnet board, which is one of my things. Oh, I must show you something else later. But it needs to be on a magnet board. But I'm going to use this one because that's about the size of the banner that I want to have. I could use a big banner like this one, and actually that would be perfect. Yeah, let's use the big banner because I was going to use this one and cut it in half and then use the two ends, which would use less paper, but I mean I got this out of my scrap drawer, so it's really not going to matter. I'm just going to cut it straight from the early espresso. So let's do that. All right, so I've got my banner here. I use these banners all the time, either for sentiments or all kinds of things. So useful. If you don't have Stylish Shapes, you need it. It's such a great set. All right, so that's going to go on there like that. And that's going to go on here like this. And you should be able to see that it's looking very similar to our shape here. It's looking good, isn't it? And so I'm thinking with this in mind, I mean, I could go green, make it very Christmassy and add a Christmas tree. But I'm thinking about going with these iconic celebration dies or iconic imagery. We could either do, I'm thinking maybe a gold star, like in the middle here, or I could actually cut a Christmas tree out and I could either, it's a little bit small. I'm thinking the star might be the go. What do you guys think? I think the tree's a little bit small for this one. I think the star is a better, just a little bit more got a bit more oomph to it. Let me cut out a gold star and let's see how that looks. We also have other colors. I don't think this is like gold is nice, but then that's copper. I mean, we could do copper too. Do we like copper or do we want gold? Too many options, you guys. The other option, of course, is we could put like a circle and put a greeting on our circle, and that would look nice. Right now, though, I'm considering putting like down the bottom here, putting a greeting down the bottom on a banner. But if we wanted to, we could put a greeting here in the middle and not have anything anywhere else. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we want a star and then a banner, or do we want a greeting and no star at all? Oh, you girls all talking about your UK experiences. That's nice. That big one is the snowflake. I know. But I think this goes, I used it today as a star on another project and I really liked how it turned out, even though it's meant to, you know, meet the, I think I'm going to be using it probably more for a star than I do for a snowflake. The star would be nice. All right. Okay, let's go with it. And you guys were saying not the copper. This is the copper. It's really hard to see the copper under the light, but that's nice. But I'm thinking you're right. I'm thinking maybe gold. So let me grab some gold and let's get this die and cut it. A little bit nervous tonight because my daughter is moving back in tomorrow, which is a total surprise to me. I did not expect that to happen, but she's not staying permanently. She's coming for a few months. The building she was living in Sydney is being demolished, so you know, kind of easy to see why she's needing to come back for a few months. All right, so that's how that's looking, something cute. And then I'm going to I'm deciding whether to put this above. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to actually put this straight on. So I'm going to you can use any glue for this. I happen to have some Tombow handy, so I'm going to just whack that on. And let's see how far we want that to be. I'll go about there. I'm just lining it up so it's in the middle. And then this is going to go right there on top of it. Now on this you can see there's a bit of twine or something behind, and I was actually thinking that might look rather nice. So I'm going to use my linen thread and I'm going to attach this from behind and I'm going to loop it. Now it wants to loop all by itself, so I'm going to let it do that. I love linen thread. It's one of my favorite things. I always make sure I have some in my stash because I just think it's so useful. All right, so I'm going to have a piece like that and I'm actually going to stick it as I go. So I'm actually going to hold it down with a bit of a dimensional there and I'm going to loop it again. And let's take the back off that, and it's actually going to hold that in place. That'll do for now. I'm fiddling around with it a little bit, but I want it to sit a particular way, so like so. And then I'm going to come down this end and I'm going to loop it again. You can see it's wanting to do the loopy thing, but that's okay. I'm going to help it. I'm going to pop that right there. I'm going to stick it to the dimensionals. Can you see that? So that it's kind of doing its thing here. Can you kind of see what I'm making it do? I'm kind of sticking it where I want it to be. I'm going to bring that one down. It's a little bit too big, that loop. I'm going to stick it to that dimensional there. And so now I've got like a couple of loops at the top and a couple at the bottom. Can you see them? Let me put that like that so you can kind of see how they're going. But I've kind of forced them into submission where I need them to be. So I'm just going to use my scissors and chop that off. And then we'll add a couple of more dimensionals to make it sit up. One. I'm just making sure we got plenty. Too many is better than not enough. Like so. All right, so now that's ready to pop right here. I'm going to stand up so I can make sure it's straight. There we go. That doesn't look too bad, does it? What do you think? Do we like the look of that? What do we think? All right, so now we're going to need a banner down the bottom. And I'm thinking in this iconic set, we've got, well, I don't really want a big thing. Maybe I'll just have a small one and do, you know, peace or joy, I think, on this one. So with that in mind, I'm going to go back to my good old, actually, you know what? Instead of, there are actually some that work really well for this. I've got this little one here. Let's try that. And I'm going to do this with very vanilla, not white, because to me this is more of a very vanilla card. And we're going to do that. So I'm going to just chop this as the smallest banner in the iconic imagery dies. I've noticed lately every time I do I have trouble getting it off because this is got so many scratches and everything in it now that I've actually got to lift it off with something sharp. So it's definitely time for a new plate. So it's got to that point. Let's put that there. And then we've got the word joy here in the iconic imagery set. Where is it? Joy, right up the top here. No, that's you. There it is. Joy. I'm just going to put this on a small block, so probably block B, which is the smallest one we have now, because block A is no more. I do still have them, of course, but we don't sell them anymore. All right, and I'm thinking I will go with my darkest color, which is the early espresso. Sometimes I think that I'm just here for light entertainment, so you guys can all chat, and that's okay. I do not mind that at all. All right, I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals behind here. Because this is such, you could fit a standard size dimensional or you could go with the minis because it's only very little. But if you're going to use big size, make sure you put them on carefully so they don't stick out. There we go, 1 and 2. Now the question is, will I use the pecan? I've got some choices. I've got the, there we go, that's the joy. Right, and then I think we want a very vanilla base. So I'll go grab one of those in a second. But do we want to use these? Because they will look quite nice. Yeah, I think I will. The other option would be the metallic gems. Those would also look really good with this. You know, the gold, the silver, and the copper. The gold is the one I would use to match in with my star. I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to put some of these pecan pie ones on. I think they're really nice. So I'm going to have one right about here and then a couple of little guys up further near the star. Oh, come on. There you go. One there. And one just there. All right, so let me grab some vanilla. Oh, I know. It's really, they're intriguing. You're right, Tanya. It's when you look at them really, really close up, you see the little design, but up until then, they just look kind of shimmery. You have to look really closely to see that. And the pecan pie ones are actually, it's harder to see that. They just look really glittery, but they're really pretty. So very, very nice. I'm just grabbing some vanilla. All right, so I'll grab that. Just going to fold that over. It's just very vanilla cardstock, half a sheet. What happened? My camera has decided to do something. I don't know what. Let's try again. Don't know why it does that sometimes. But hey, technology, right? All right, now before, I can just put this straight on here, but I think there would be a nice, it would be very nice to actually zip around with a darker color. I could do crumb cake, but I think I might do early espresso around the whole outside of my card, just to give it just a really nice, make the edge look like I care, basically. I'm not going to add a lot, but it's just a little bit of the color. And I'm just going to zip around the whole piece with my sponge dauber. Sponge daubers are another basic that you want to have in your stash. I always make sure I have some. They come in packs of 5. In fact, there you go. They come in a pack just like this. There you go, a pack of 5. There it is. And they are sponge daubers 133773. They've been around for ages. They are so good. But they're very, very handy to do all kinds of things with, including this. I use mine less now than I used to since we have the blending brushes, because the blending brushes do some things that sponge daubers used to do. I think they do them better, but not everything. Going around the edge of a piece of card is still easier with a sponge dauber. So that's just my take on them. That's okay, Susan. Oh, you're not missing out. It's okay. Well, this one is a Christmas card because even though it doesn't have to be, I could have made it anything. We're doing a sketch tonight, which is this sketch here. You can see that's what we've ended up with from this sketch. It's a really versatile sketch, like most of the sketches, and you could use it for lots of different types of cards. Portrait. You could go landscape, but it would. I think this particular sketch lends itself better to a portrait size. But if you're going to do landscape, you probably change it a little bit. Like we could do it, but it would be a bit trickier. All right. So there we go. I'm going to call that a finished card. What do we think? Do we like it? Oh, that's good to know, Cherie. So Cherie is saying they're spongier than the Amazon ones where the foam is thin. That's good to know. I don't think I've compared them. I've never tried the Amazon ones. So, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Now let me see if I can find... Oh, I had a clean out and I need to blow my nose. Give me 1 second. Or wipe it at least. That's better than nothing. Sorry about that. All right. So 1 card done. Shall we do another? I think we shall. All right. So let's make this a nice quick one. Do we want to use the same set? No, let's use another set. Let's use the, I know which set I want to use. Hang on a second. I'll put my star back because if I don't, I will lose it. And I do not want to lose another die because that's very bad when that happens. Right, let's put it back in its packet. Yes, please. Good. Yeah, Christmas cards are good fun to do. And this time of the year, we kind of get away with it, the whole Christmas in July thing. I made today I think I can say I finally designed the full craft along project today, and I can tell you it is a Christmas themed project. So I figured with a Christmas in July kind of a thing going, we're going to do that this time. You're hedging your bets. Okay. All right. So let's do another quick one. And I'm thinking, will I follow the same sketch? Maybe I will. We'll see. But I wanted to use the Changing Leaves stamp set again, because this one is the other thing that I'm doing this month for anyone who's interested. If you have the Changing Leaves set, okay, then you are welcome to do this class with me. Now, if you've purchased the set from me anytime between now and the 24th of July when I run the class, you will be able to do the class for free. Okay, that's completely fine. If you are not buying it through me, also if you're in my team and you've got the stamp set, you can also do it for free. But if you've purchased the set and you would like to do my class, I'm going to be charging $15 Australian. It's going to be a Zoom class, probably go for an hour and a half, 2 hours from 2 o'clock on the 24th of this month. So not next Wednesday, but the one after. I'm sending out the Zoom links to people. I haven't yet set up a purchase button, but I'm going to be doing that on my blog over the weekend. So this weekend I'll have a purchase now button that you can go there to actually purchase the class. Like I said, it'll be $15. I will send you a supply list of all the things you will need, and then you can do the class with me. It will be on Zoom, but if you don't like Zoom, it'll also be available to watch on YouTube. So it won't be it'll be a private link, so that it's just for people who've purchased. Okay, so I love this set too. I just think it's such a great set. This is my favorite stamp at the moment. I'm using it on everything. I just did some bags for an upcoming class next Wednesday, and all my bags are stamped with the. This is what I do when I always put a stamp on all my bags that I put the kit supplies for the class in, and this one is so good for going over the corners of the bags. They look really good, don't they? All right, so I'm deciding what to do. We've actually got, I just think it's a really pretty set, this one, and I'm deciding what colours. Okay, someone yell out a colour, and they're the colours that I'm going to do. I don't think Black Sheep is catchy. I'm pretty sure it's not. All right, so I did do this last Tuesday. We did the spotlighting technique. Did some of you watch that? And we used this set to make this card, and I really loved how this card turned out. I thought that was really well. If you love the spotlighting technique, or if you want to learn how to do it, go back and watch last Tuesday's video. So Old Olive and Early Espresso. Ooh, and embossed in gold. That would be nice, Suzanne. That's gorgeous. But Megan has got a good suggestion there. Old Olive and Early Espresso. Well, that's what we did with these. This is Old Olive and Cajun Craze and Mossy Meadow. But Old Olive and Early Espresso would look nice. They would look nice again on this, on the Barely Beige. It's Barely Beige, isn't it? Is that the name of the colour? Yes. Basic beige, that's what I'm thinking of. So maybe we will do that. I'm going to grab a piece of basic beige. Oh. I'm still, I haven't decided where to keep my basic beige scraps yet. I don't have very many because it's a new colour. So I have to find a good place for those because it's not really a neutral. All right, so let's grab some basic beige. But I'm wondering, it is so beautiful. Isn't it gorgeous? I know, I love the card. That was one of my, every now and then I do a card that I like it so much that I think, ooh, I really like my own work in that case. I know that's a bit vain, isn't it? But if you know, when you do a card, sometimes you do your cards and you think, oh yeah, it's all right, it's nice. And then you'll do a card and you think, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. I'm so happy with that. And that's how I felt about that card. All right, so the colors that Megan suggested were Old Olive and was it Early Espresso? I think that's what you said. I think that's what you said. So that would be these two. And they would look very nice on here, would they not? I'm just having a look. You guys are also funny. Oh, you did try it. Sheila, how did it go? Did you find it really interesting? You can always go back and watch that video too. That's the other way to go. All right, so I'm thinking, let's start with Old Olive because it's the lighter of the color. Oh, sorry. Sorry if I hurt anybody's ear just now. I just dropped a block on the glass. All right, so I'm going to, so this is going to start out looking a little bit like that other card, but it's going to be different. It's so pretty. Isn't this beautiful? So, so nice. All right, so I'm now going to go up to Early Espresso because that's darker. So I don't have to clean my stamp in between when you're going from a lighter color to a darker color as dark as this. You don't need to clean your stamp. You can get away with it. It's just very pretty. I mean, it just can't be bad, can it? Can't be bad. All right, now I'm going to clean my stamp because I want to go back to, actually I'm deciding whether I stick with the same stamp or whether I go to a different stamp, because I can go with a different stamp in that particular set because we've got other ones, right? We've got these. This would be nice. Let's have a look at this one. This one's a bit more solid, this stamp. Like this one's more lacy, but this is a more solid stamp, so it's going to give us a more solid result, of course. And I'm going to pop it on a D block. It will fit nicely on D block. And I'm thinking, shall we go early? Should we go Mossy Meadow or stick with Old Olive? Maybe just stick with the colours that Megan said. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so I'd like to put these so that and I'm not using a mat underneath. I probably should, but on the glass mat, I'll still get a pretty good result. You can see that there. And I'm deciding where this should go. Actually, I'm going to go here. Now this little bit down here, maybe come in here with my Early Espresso. And let's grab another block. Now this is C, so this is the next one down from the D block. And I think it'll be big enough for the other leaf. I was going to do the sketch again, but I'm looking at this and thinking, I don't know if I want to go with the sketch. I think I'm going to like this as it is. But let's give it a slightly different treatment. We can maybe do a sketch. I don't know. Still deciding. It's just such a nice set. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry I'm gushing, but yeah, it's just so beautiful. So I've heard from a couple of ladies saying they'd like to do the class. If that's you and you would like to do it, you will need this set in order to make the cards because, and you know, if you already own them, I don't expect everyone will have purchased them through me, but if you already own them, then you will, you know, not need to worry about that. And so $15 will get you into the class to do that. But I've got to put it up on my blog yet. All right, so this is looking really nice. All right, so I'm going to pop this here. I've got, let me grab, looking at this and deciding. I think I will go with some Old Olive behind. Actually, we've got some choices, so let's have a look at possibilities here. All right, so here's my choices. So this piece needs a mat behind it. Should it be Old Olive, which would look quite nice? Obviously, I'll cut it to size. Or Mossy Meadow, which is darker and probably a little bit more contrast. That looks really good. I love these two colors together, actually. I think they look great. Or the Early Espresso, which is a little different again. So what do we think? Which one do we like the look of for a mat? zip around with early espresso maybe. Yep, that would look good. If we're going to use an early espresso mat, then we wouldn't need to. Mossy Meadows, says Marilyn. Okay, Marilyn's the first one. And then Tanya said early espresso. Old Olive, says Suzanne. Mossy, early. Oh, it's all over the place. But the first person to respond was Marilyn. So it's going to be Mossy Meadow. So there we go. All right, so let me cut this to size. This needs to be 14.3. So this is basic card front size. I'm just going to cut that edge off because it's a little bit ragged. All right, so then we want 10 centimeters. If you're in the US and trying to do a card front size, it's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4, I believe. Whereas this is 10 by 14.3. So that's right. And then this piece is going to go on here. Now I'm deciding which way this should go. I don't think it'll really matter once I put my other pieces down. And I am going to go with the sketch. We're just going to give it a little bit different treatment, but it's going to be nice. Aren't those leaves divine? I've loved every card I've made with this set. I haven't felt like I made a bad card yet with it. It's really nice. All right. Okay, so I'm now going to I'm going to bring in some gold. I think gold would be nice. And let me grab my pieces that I need. Oh, we could do, here's another idea. We could do plain gold, or we could do some vellum. What do you think? We could throw some vellum on there. That'd be interesting. But it might be, I don't know, would it be solid enough? Because I was going to do a gold banner, but now I'm wondering if this would be, this might interfere with my design too much, but it is really pretty. Very, very pretty. It's hard to choose sometimes, don't you think? So many decisions to make. All right, so I want my big banner from here again. And do that because it seems to be the right size for this sketch. And I'm going to stick with a square this time. I'm not going to worry about making it into a rectangle. Yeah, I'm wondering if it might be too busy with the vellum. So yeah, we have some people saying plain, some people, yeah. I think for this one, the design of the stamps is so beautiful. But if you were using like paper that was a little on the plain side, the vellum would dress it up beautifully. Okay, so I've got myself a gold banner. Like so. I mean, the gold is nice, right? You can't really see it under that light because the glare is on it. And I'm wondering, we might keep it really simple and do you want a circle or a square? What do we think? The circle would look nice. If I was going to do a square, it would look like, probably I'd do a smaller square. So square or circle, and I'm going to put a sentiment on it. What do you think? Square or circle? Circle. Everyone's saying circle. Okay, circle it is. All right, so let's cut our circle. And I'm going to run that through my machine. I could, you know what I could do? I just had a thought. I could be really lazy, not use the machine at all, and just use a punch. So let's see how that would look. 2-inch punch, probably a good size. Punches are easy. You don't always need to use cut and emboss machine all the time, okay? You can come in here with a punch and the work is done straight away. It's easy to do. I'm just looking to see if I thought I had a dauber with Mossy Meadow or Old Olive on it, but there's none actually here. So that's not a problem. We have 5 more. So I'm going to pull one out and we're going to use it. And I'm deciding whether to go with the lighter color. I think maybe I will go with the Old Olive. And I think I'll do my sentiment in Early Espresso. So I'm going to just put my sponge dauber into the Old Olive and then zip around the outside. Now, you could also, if you don't have a sponge dauber, you can also just roll it around in the ink. That also works. But I like the extra color that you get when you sponge. Whoops, I went over it there, but that doesn't matter, because it just gives me a little bit more of an edge. But if you don't have a sponge, rolling it around in the ink is another nice idea, and will still give you a nice result. All right, like so. And then I'm thinking, what greeting shall we use? What have we got in our changing leaves set? We could use this one. This is the right size. I couldn't have done it without you, which is actually really nice. I have a lot of people I need to send a card that says that on it, because I tell you what, I certainly couldn't do a lot of what I do without other people helping me along. So yeah, we could put that on there. That would look really nice. Another nice idea on here would look really, really good. I don't really have time to do it now, is I could make this a Mossy Meadow circle and emboss in it. Emboss in white, or emboss even in gold. That would look really nice as well. Although I do like the contrast between a dark color and white. I always think that that's nice. So I think I will... decal circles would look good as well. They would. I know. Yes, I just got the 1 3/4 the other day. I haven't got it yet. I've ordered it because I had one, but it met a sad demise. So I'm just going to pop this on here, and I'm going to use my Mossy. I'm going to use Early Espresso. I could use Mossy Meadow because I have that Mossy Meadow out here, so we could get away with it. Should we stamp in Mossy Meadow, or should we stamp in Early Espresso? What do you guys think? And I've got a little bit of a mark here where I actually over sponged, and that was a bit silly. I'm actually going to attach these and then put dimensionals behind all of them to lift the whole thing up, because I think that would look nice. What was the great idea? Where's the vellum? I didn't end up using it. Oh, I know. Everyone's telling me what they want to do. Mossy Meadow, says Leanne. Mossy Meadow circle. Yes, I've decided I'm going to stick with this circle today, but Mossy Meadows circle would also look good. Okay, looks like we've got the first people to respond with Mossy Meadows, so we'll do that because that will tie in with the outside, so that's going to look good. And I can put just thank you on it, or I can put this, I couldn't do it without you. I'm still not 100% sure that's the one I want to use, so I'm actually going to grab out a second one, and I think I might just put a thank you on this. I always have use for a thank you card, always. I find thank you cards I use more than any other type of card. I often put them in with, you know, when I send something to someone. You know what, I'm going to put that down the bottom because I'm going to put linen thread down there. So there's my thank you. And then I'm going to pop this. I'm going to pop some glue right here in the middle of my foil. And I'm going to pop that straight on the foil. So you can see I'm doing this a different way to the way I did the first one. And push that down to make contact. And then on the back of this, I'm going to add my dimensionals. I'm going to actually put my dimensionals over the join. Okay, that helps it stay there. It's not going anywhere. Not that it really would have anyway, but it just makes me feel even better about the fact that it's very secure. And then we're going to take that off. I'm going to put this back on before I stick my fingers in it. as you know I will. All right, and let's pop this right here in the center of this section. Looks good, doesn't it? What do we think? Do you like this? And so we could either go with more of these little, we get away with these little pecan pie ones again. They're really nice. Or we can just go with some of our good old metallic. I love these. I use them all the time. All right, so I'm going to put one right about here. And I'm going to have a couple more little gold ones. One here. I've got one more gold one over here. Right. And then I feel like we need some linen thread, because of course we do. What have I done with my linen thread? Ah, here it is, right there in front of me. Because that's where it always is when you can't find it. I saw a thing the other day, some of you may have seen it, that said crafting is basically the art of misplacing something that you had 2 seconds ago and not being able to find it again. And isn't that the truth? All right, so I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut that off, and I'm going to use a glue dot and pop a glue dot right there behind my bow. So I stick my bow to the glue dot so it's nice and firm right there. Oh, remove the cat hair, sorry. And then we take that off, including the bow, and we're going to put it right there on the edge of our circle. All right, looks good. I like it. All right, now I could put this on a vanilla piece because I've got vanilla here. Or we didn't use any white tonight. That's very unusual, isn't it? Or I could grab my basic beige piece that I have left over from before, and I think I will do that. And I'm actually going to cut it to the right size, which is 14.3. Oh, no, it isn't. 14.8. What am I saying? Goodness me. Don't listen to me. And that's the full width of a piece of A4 cardstock there. So this would be 5.5 by 8.5 if you were doing US sizing. Fold in half, use a bone folder to fold down those edges, and then pop some glue on the back. I hope no one's bored that I use the same basic colours again. Because I like my cards so nice. Last Tuesday I wanted to use those colours again. I think it turned out really nice. And if you want to go see how we did the spotlight technique, definitely go back and watch that one. I will put immediately after this video, I'm going to put, like within the first minute, I will put the description in the description below, all the links to anywhere you might want to go, including my online store if you want to go shopping and buy any of the things that you've seen tonight. It's just, there you go. Same sketch, totally different projects as always. What do you think? Do we like them? How do we go tonight? Move these out of the way. I'm looking to see what somebody has said here. Look, the vanilla ribbon would look okay, but you have to be a bit careful with the, I think there would be too much vanilla in this. But this, let me tell you, this is lovely ribbon to tie up a box, you know, to wrap something with. But it's not, this is probably thicker than I like to use on a card, be really honest with you. However, if you do want to use it on a card, I wouldn't be trying to tie a bow with it unless you were, you know, doing an over-the-top kind of bow. But if you tie just a knot and then trim off the edges, it looks really pretty, just a knot, like a simple knot on a card. Okay, that's probably the way to go. These scissors actually need a sharpen, but so they're not going to cut as nicely as I want them to. But you can hopefully see what I'm trying to achieve if you just then glue dot that ribbon in the middle. I'm not going to be able to get this nice tonight. I'm so sorry, guys. It'll be a job that needs to happen really. But you could glue dot that on and have it, you know, have it on here, and that would look very pretty. But I think That's a lot of vanilla. The beige and the vanilla are so similar that it's a lot to put together. So you could do it, but yeah, I think I'd prefer to use it on a card that had a bit more contrast, if that makes sense. I'm just looking. The ribbon you have when you're not having a bow. There you go. I know. What happened? I didn't lose much tonight. Sorry. Would you prefer I lose more things so you could take more sips? Is that what we want to do? I'll tell Susan when I talk to her tomorrow that everyone talks about that all the time. She finds it very amusing. Oh, look, I'm really glad you like the cards. I had fun making them. I'm going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting tomorrow, so I might be very tired when I see you all on Sunday night because there's lots of furniture and things moving back into the house. But my ex-husband has actually hired a truck and is going to be helping do some of that lifting because my husband can't do it because he's still recovering from major abdominal surgery. So it'll just be us trying to help her in tomorrow. But we'll make it. She hasn't got that much stuff, thankfully. It's going to be okay. Thank you, Lynn. I'm glad you liked the card. You preferred the second one, did you? Yeah, I know. I really love that stamp set too. It's gorgeous. I will say I talk to her every day, Leslie. Every day. I don't think almost ever a day goes past that we don't talk or at least send each other, photos or something. Oh, thank you very much, Tanya. I appreciate that. And yeah, it'll be fine. Yes, I will bend my knees, Cherie. Absolutely. It's going to be okay. I think the good communication is the key to things being harmonious in this kind of situation, right? And that's what we're going to try. All right, you guys, have a great weekend. I'll see you Sunday night with something new and different, and we'll all talk to each other then. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.